what was announced within this with this announcement. I was at work. I don't know how to do time calculation conversions, so I completely missed the live stream. Once I figured out it was going on, I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll hold the hypeness inside, deep inside me, and I'll watch it later, watch it with you guys, and give you my taste. So without further ado, I'm gonna watch the intro of this, and we'll see what happens. So here we go.
Destroying 2 elder dragons saved countless lives, but it also created a devastating magical imbalance. Unique energy spectrums from the dead dragons surged across the globe.
Yeah.
The world's magic devolved into chaos as the unbound dragon power spread.
I need to fight that thing. That one too.
New forms. New enemies appeared to exploit the crisis.
Yeah.
Most of these was one of the long-absent human deities, Balthazar.
Balthazar.
God of fire and war. Balthazar disguised himself to muster an army and absorb magic to regain his lost power. His first target was a bloodstone. Then he targeted the remaining elder dragons to harvest their energy, knowing full well the impact this would have on Tyria. Yet amid the chaos of unbound magic, a new ally also rose. A different kind of dragon was born. Aurene chose you as her champion. You set about preparing her to someday face the elder dragons together and restore balance to the world. But will she even get the chance? It seems Balthazar no longer cares about the world, or even those who once worshipped him. He claims to have been betrayed. Whatever his reasons, he must be stopped. Centuries ago, heroes rallied to the Crystal Desert to stand against a renegade god. Will you too now answer that call?
Dude.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us today as we
Good
announce
opening.
the next
Good
expansion
opening.
for Guild Wars 2. Those of you who've been following us this past year know that we've been all about delivering a steady stream of quality new content.
Yes.
We shipped a full season of Living World, 6 episodes with 6 new open world zones, plus new fractals and raids, PvP and World vs. World updates, legendary weapons and armor, and more. Well, we're not letting up the pace. We've designed the next expansion to slot in seamlessly, starting right from where we left off in last week's season finale, and leading right to the premiere of Season 4, all with no breaks in content delivery. So today, as we announce the new expansion, keep in mind that this also kicks off another season of live content. Another cool thing about Guild Wars 2 expansions
That's what I'm talking about.
easy to get into. They don't invalidate existing rewards. They don't invalidate existing content.
Yep.
New players can join the game and enjoy the same content as everyone else.
Yep.
That's a big deal. So last time we announced an expansion, we talked about all the things we were doing to make that vision a reality. Reworking some game systems and adding new forms of character progression, things like that. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. This new expansion is all about content. At the end of the last expansion, we killed a second Elder Dragon. That victory saved the mortal races, but at a steep cost to the world. Into this chaos, a new adversary has come. We thought that the human gods had left Tyria, but one of them is walking among us. Balthazar, the god of fire and war. He's building his forces, and he seems hell-bent on killing elder dragons. If the gods really abandoned Tyria, why has one of them returned? Why did he disguise himself and absorb the power of a bloodstone? What's his plan? Today we'll reveal where we're going next with the story of Tyria. We'll travel to a long-lost land, and we'll introduce some fun new ways to play the game. Let's take a sneak peek.
Cool. Now we get to see the content.
Commander, there's something I have to tell you.
Oh God.
I went into the mists after my sword.
Duh. We knew this.
I found something else.
What? Did he go to the underworld?
Refugees are pouring in from Alona.
If he kills an Elder Dragon, Tyria will never recover.
There goes their mounts.
They cannot stand in the glory of Balthazar's light.
Dude.
I will right this wrong.
Holy crap.
I just can't believe one of the gods gave up on us.
They cannot escape my wrath. When I am done, I will be the only god.
Okay, I'm hyped. Holy crap.
The next expansion for Guild Wars 2, Path of Fire. Path of Fire continues the story right where we left off, tracking Balthazar as he hunts an Elder Dragon. We're adventuring into the Crystal Desert for the first time since the
Dude.
original Guild Wars.
Holy crap,
This is
man.
the same Crystal Desert where the friendly dragon Glint once lived.
Yep.
The same Crystal Desert where humans once went to commune with their gods. It's been cut off from the outside world for 250 years, and now it's time to return. Path of Fire contains 5 new open world zones.
5,
They're
okay.
huge. These are the largest zones we've ever shipped. And because there's so much land to cover, this is the perfect time to introduce mounts. The Raptor, the Springer, the Skimmer, and the Jackal. Each mount
okay.
has its own unique movement ability, and you can use these abilities to explore every nook and cranny of the desert. We're also introducing 9 new elite specializations.
That's what I want to
that
see.
will evolve your profession with all new tactics and combat abilities to master.
Oh, Harad might be happy.
These are the core features of
Did
Path
I
of
just
Fire.
see an elementalist with
We'll
a
talk
sword?
a bit about each of these today, and then we'll tell you how and when you can play all this for yourself.
In Path of Fire, we were returning back to the Crystal Desert and to Northern Alona. We wanted to go back to a place that means a lot to players and has history for the franchise, but we wanted to look at
You're
something that
right.
is now fresh.
Holy crap. Thief with a rifle.
The last time we visited the Crystal Desert was in Guild Wars Nightfall. That
Yes.
was 250 years ago. So
Abaddon.
a lot has changed in that time.
Abaddon!
There are iconic locations and landmarks that will be very recognizable for players who know the Guild Wars franchise, but at the same time, we're building the lore and the story in such a way that if you weren't there for the beginning, it's absolutely fine. We're going to help bring you along for this ride.
If we go to Fissure Aurora, I'm so done,
What's
dude.
going on in Alona, in
We
an area
done.
that we have not been back to in 250 years.
Path of Fire starts with reports that Balthazar has been wreaking havoc in the desert.
Balthazar is the human god of war and fire. Last we had heard that the gods had kind of stepped away from Tyria.
Human players have been worshiping him since Guild Wars 1. But then he shows up and he's not benevolent, right? He has his own goals and he clearly doesn't care about who gets harmed in the way. Everyone in Alona has the exact same questions.
Why are the gods walking amongst us? Does this mean the gods are coming back?
We don't know what he hopes to achieve at this point, and that's what you and everyone in the region is trying to figure out.
Palawa Joko has risen into power. He has brought with him an army of undead, and he has totally warped the culture that is there.
Yes!
Really believe that he is their rightful ruler. He is their rightful king.
How is this region dealing with these crises? What different powers are taking advantage of the scenario? How are they trying to solve it? And how can you as the player try to help? It's already this volatile mix of different forces in the region.
One of the first factions you're going to encounter are the Forged, Balthazar's army.
Living armor created only to serve Balthazar. They're ruthless and they're just dedicated to achieving his
They
goals.
look sick.
Another faction that you're going to be seeing is the Awakened,
Yep.
the army of the ruler of the
That is an undead.
Undead forces, they still have some remnants of memories. They're sentient, but they will do anything for their master.
Holy crap, dude.
Branded.
Mindless elemental stripped of their original self by Kralkatoric's power.
And of course, the player is being asked to, come do the hero thing.
So the player needs to form a new coalition here in the desert.
Path of Fire has a great combination of old friends and new, who all have very different perspectives on Balthazar.
You've got your warriors like Ritlock, and you've got Casimir, and these people all get together to help the commander, the player. Path of Fire is going to bring 5 whole new maps to the game.
5 maps that are bigger than any map we've done before.
We'll see things that have shifted the landscape and see things in a very unique way.
So when people talk about deserts, they think sand, flat stretches, but that's not actually true, right?
It's not just, one massive desert that we're exploring, it's all these different biomes.
That looks cool.
The maps go tall, the maps go wide, the maps go under and around in places. We've really decided to bring exploration and discovery back to the forefront of Guild Wars 2. There's elements that make each map unique, but we've also got elements that kind of tie all the maps together.
That was pretty sick.
We're gonna have bounties now that players can hunt dangerous creatures that have been threatening the people of Alona, world events, bosses. With the mounts, of course, we're gonna have races, content both old and new to get players engaged.
In Path of Fire, we really wanted to get back to the roots of what made Guild Wars 2 unique and fantastic.
People who are playing through the main story will really enjoy both the depth and the breadth of experiences they are able to have.
The interesting characters who, if they go just a little bit further, they'll run into.
Massive maps that are fully explorable, freedom that we haven't necessarily seen as in-depth as when we launched with the original Guild Wars 2.
There's some really cool surprises we're building in. I want them to find...
Dude, that is pretty sick, man.
And interesting and complex as anything we've ever created. And I want them to
freaking
like
three-headed chimera? That's pretty sick. Oh god. I'm sorry, I'm not happy about mounts.
In Path of Fire, we wanted to build upon the mastery system that we started with Heart of Thorns.
So we're introducing mounts for the first time into Guild Wars 2. Historically in games, mounts are about traveling fast. To us, mounts are so much more.
A phrase we use a lot in the office is the joy of movement. It should feel exciting to move across the Alolan Desert in a variety of ways.
Each mount has its own movement ability, its own places that it can get to and no other mount can. It really just kind of strengthens that feeling of exploration that we go for in our maps.
Mounts are designed to be these companions that you have that are helping you traverse the world, but in addition to that, they're part of our mastery system. So it's additional horizontal progression. The idea here is that the mounts themselves are your ally. They're not just a creature that you're riding, they're a companion that's taking
hammer and you hit
oh crap, missed the wrong.
Holographic guns and you shoot them.
That's the wrong button.
It just kind of strengthens
there you
that
go.
feeling of exploration that we go for in our maps.
Mounts are designed to be these companions that you have that are helping you traverse the world, but in addition to that, they're part of our mastery system. So it's additional horizontal progression. The idea here is that the mounts themselves are your ally. They're not just a creature that you're riding, they're a companion that's taking you on this journey that allows you to get across puzzles in ways that we hadn't thought possible before now.
The first mount that players get access to is the Raptor, which has this enormous leap. It can jump across canyons and over roofs.
This can be used to reach areas that might be off limits normally to a
Hey, Roy!
Mounts are not really intended to be a combat tool, they're more of a movement tool. But all of the mounts have a single skill they can use to engage you into combat.
The Raptor's engage skill is this tail spin.
It can like pull enemies together, so it's really good for starting off big fights. The next mount most players will encounter is the Springer, just kind of like a mutant bunny or a slightly cuddlier jackalope. It has this leap that takes it up really high in the air.
It's a charged up jump, and the longer that you charge it up, the higher up you'll go.
And it can also be used to get access to some really fantastic stuff. The Skimmer is a really interesting mount. It's this
That's the one I want.
creature with undulating wings and a strange mystical vibe.
He always hovers some distance over the ground. That means he also hovers over things like water or other things that normally would stop your motion.
If you're interested in getting to the most forbidding areas, it's going to be really awesome to have the Skimmer. The Jackal is a beast all unto itself. It's created with magical energies, it's living dust.
Its primary movement tool is to blink forward a very short distance, so you can use it to cross short gaps. Unlike the Raptor, he's able to change direction in midair, so you can solve certain puzzles that need precise directional movement.
I think there'll be some really interesting things for players to do. Each mount is a tool. When you come to a space, there's different ways to get through the same places, different ways to approach. There's something really fun just about being in the Crystal Desert, moving in this way. And that just opens up the possibility of building places that aren't like anything players have seen in Guild Wars before.
Cool, not bad. There we go. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see.
With Path of Fire, we're offering 9 unique specializations, one for each of the classes. And the idea behind the specialization, it's another way to customize your playstyle.
In a lot of ways, that gets back to what Buildverse has been about from the beginning. Character progression doesn't just mean getting better, getting more powerful. Character progression means having new options, more things that I can do, more strategies that I can employ.
What that means for the player is that they can experience the game in a lot of different ways.
Path of Fire will present you with the options to play the profession that you've known and loved in a new fashion, and in doing so, shake the world up a bit.
Alright, Firebrand.
Guardian Elite specialization is called the Firebrand. He specializes in burning his enemies and conjuring magical tomes that he can use to support his allies.
They're the book nerd gone mad. They've got access to all these secret histories and these tomes that give them access to skills really quickly.
It's going to be giving up instant support for allies in favor of casted support. The benefits of Guardians taking the Firebrand are that you're going to have a lot more focused support available to you.
The weapon that they're wielding is the axe. Very offensive, up close and personal means of eradicating the enemy.
You've been entrusted with these secrets, and you have to protect them with your life.
One of the most interesting changes is the Necromancer, who gets the Scourge specialization.
Nice.
They're rejecting Palawa Joko and finding this kind of alternate approach to necromancy in the desert. So they're there to help protect the souls that Joko's trying to take control over.
What the Necromancer is going to do is he's going to give up his Death Shroud, and instead he's going to place his life force onto the earth and protect allies from those locations.
He gets a lot more battlefield control and movement options that the regular
Dude.
do not have.
The Scourge gets the torch as an offhand weapon, protecting their allies with it, and lighting the way to, well, damnation for their enemies.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So it's like a support character.
Specialization for the Thief is the Deadeye. They run with the rifle.
The rifle gives them a lot more range. It lets them tackle certain problems from a distance that normally they'd have to face up front.
They form a contract to take out a particular individual, and then they execute on that.
The Deadeye would have me terrified, you know, that there's someone out there stalking me, waiting for me to make a mistake so they can take me down. They're mercenaries, they're assassins, they're trained hunters. Great to have on your side. Don't get them upset.
Okay.
The Mesmer specialization, the Mirage, focuses
Yes.
on being a very deceptive combatant in close melee range.
They blend into basically whatever their surroundings are, camouflaging themselves so that you can't see them, and while they're doing this, they can strike at you from multiple directions.
The other interesting thing about the Mirage is that it has a different dodge mechanic. They have a blur effect that allows attacks to pass through them rather than them moving out of the way of the attack.
So it's like another distort.
Who now can manipulate the desert itself to kind of provide power to their illusions and phantasms. I think it's a really cool direction for the Mesmer to step in.
Oh.
So the warrior specialization is called the Spellbreaker, and I guess as the name implies, it's a warrior who kind of specializes in fighting magic users.
These folks were members of the Sunspear Order, the chosen guardians of Alona. When their order was smashed, they picked up stopping powerful wizards was the best way to protect people.
They wield daggers, and they have become so ridiculously focused at perceiving magic that now they're able to actually cut magic off of their foes.
So they've got these incredibly powerful retaliatory abilities. They've got the ability to just...
I actually like the warrior.
In an area, strip the enemy's boons. You don't just challenge your enemy where they're weak, you challenge them where they're strong, and you make them back down.
Dude, I actually like the warrior. Weaver.
The Weaver is an elementalist who has decided that they are going to specialize in the desert in wielding multiple attunements at once.
Elementalists cycle through their magic one after the other, but the Weaver is combining them and creating these new elements out of this kind of hybrid magic.
The Weaver can have 2 fire skills, 2 water skills, and then a 5th skill that is a fire and water skill simultaneously.
What?
The weapon that they're going to be wielding is one that elementalists have long requested, the sword. So they will be picking up the access to their
Game is going to kill me.
Sabers of lightning, earthen hilts.
Playing a Weaver has this really interesting rhythm to it that is really cool. You can really surprise your opponents, catch people off guard, and keep a sense of flexibility. Your enemy doesn't know what you're about to do, and I think there's something really cool there.
Yeah, dude.
Soul Beast is our ranger specialization that allows rangers to combine their spirits with their pet.
They become their bear. They become their devourer. They take on the essence of these animals and take through opponents.
They also gain access to the dagger as a main hand weapon. Now they can kind of slice and dice with both components, crossing into close range, as well as crippling from a distance.
It works really well with some of the new pets that we're adding for rangers in Alona.
I'll have to see how that goes.
The Renegade is the elite specialization for the Revenant. This
Okay.
is a new legend that they get to channel, and the legend is of Kala's Scorchrazor, this renegade char.
And she kind of bestows on the player her rebellious spirit that she used to overthrow the Flame.
Oh, I know who she
What it's kind of
is.
manifest as is the ability to ambush opponents. You can summon members of her char warband to bolster your allies, or you can fire arrows into a portal into the mist that come out of a different portal behind the enemy.
What's really exciting about the Renegade is the idea that standing up to powerful, intimidating foes because you know what's right and you know you'll win in the end.
The Hollowsmith is the engineer's elite specialization. They take a very clean look at energy, light in particular, and find ways to bend it to enhance their strikes.
He can have this kind of interesting multi-weapon playstyle. You can do an attack where you pull out a holographic hammer and you hit him with the hammer, and then you can pull out some holographic guns and you shoot them with the guns.
In the process, they build up heat within themselves. If they stay too long in this kind of heated mode, they will eventually explode.
The idea of bending light to be your weapon, I think, is really cool.
That's pretty cool. I'll have to see how that works.
Elite specializations are a really fun way for us to explore different ways to play the same character.
They push the bounds of what they've done before.
You get to choose how your character exists in the world, what they do, how they do it, and these elite specializations allow you another step in customizing the character to meet that end.
And that is Path of Fire.
Dude.
It's a rich experience that will take you to the sands of the Crystal Desert, pit you against new foes, and change the way you fight and explore the world. An epic story, 5 immense new open world zones, mounts that allow you to move through Tyria in all new ways, and 9 new elite specializations. Plus, a brand new guild hall to unlock and call home.
Okay.
You can buy Path of Fire as a standalone expansion. You don't need to already own the base game or Heart of Thorns. And we're also offering a bundle deal with both expansions. Everything you need to know is at guildwars2.com. The final question is always, when can I play? Well, I have some good news. We'll be running a preview experience event next weekend. It's open to everyone, even if you're not already a Guild Wars 2 player. Just create a free account today to get ready for it. And after the preview event, you don't have long to wait. The gates to the Crystal Desert open.
So
in less
next
than
weekend
2
is when they're
months.
launching it.
Path of Fire launches September 22nd. We truly couldn't be more excited to
2
share
weeks
with
from
you
now, we got the
what we've
thing.
been creating with Path of
Freaking
Fire.
A,
As
man.
always, it's you, the fans, who make all this possible. Thanks again for your support and for being an integral part of Guild Wars 2. We'll see you in the Crystal Desert.
My brain is broken. My brain is literally freaking broken. No, we're talking about this now, dude. Screw that. We ain't waiting. Yeah, you thought we were gonna wait.
Okay, well,
No, we ain't
never
waiting.
mind.
No, we ain't waiting. No, no, no. Just no.
Called me quick.
Holy crap. Oh.
Well, I might now need to buy this game. I'm just
That
saying,
Elementalist, oh my gosh. Like, I'm more hyped about the Elementalist than Necro, somewhat of the
Anything
Mesmer.
I'm more about the Elementalist, and then looking at the necro how you're losing your
Yes.
shroud,
Yes.
and now putting yourself into not harm's way but harm's way now, and putting your essence on the ground.
Oh my
That's a
god.
thing.
Dude, that element. You can combine two different elements into one. What
You
the
can do it
actual
5 times.
F?
5 times. So that's basically the skill
No,
bar.
so what they said is you
your first
have.
set skill bar.
So what they said is you have 2 fire, 2 water, and your last skill will be a combination of both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So basically, your skill bar
Yeah.
is combinations
Oh my
that you can
god.
put. So I'm a little hyped. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Oh my god.
I wasn't.
Holy
Now
crap.
I am a little bit.
And they got the sword.
And we got the sword. So
And they got the sword.
hyped. We just talked about this.
Oh my god.
Which is funny. Because we just talked about it.
Holy crap, dude.
So yeah, I'm just
The
gonna get the
Weaver.
base.
That's cool. It gives you, I think the base one gives you, it still gives you
just a game in the 80, I think, right?
It gives you an 80. It gives you the base. Let me see. So the base is 30. Yes, you get and you get a character boost.
Can you give me that site that you're on currently?
Dolphy?
Yeah.
Yep. What's it do now? Holy crap, dude. So I love the fact that we're going back to Crystal Desert because that's where Abaddon was, and that was my favorite storyline of all of it. I mean, if we're going back there, dude, we're going to go back to Fissure of War. We're going to go back to where Abaddon we locked him at. We have to.
I think you're getting a little bit too ahead of yourself.
We have to, dude.
Let's deal with Balthazar first before we start thinking about Abaddon and that other place right now. Let's just try to figure out what we need to do here first and deal with this god that's going cray cray. I'm just saying.
He's the second one, man. They're all going cray cray, dude.
But this is the one that's in front of us now.
Yeah.
Let's deal with him first before we get all hyped up on Mountain Dew on 2 places or 2 things that we don't even know that's going to be coming out next.
But Count Joko, dude. Count Joko, the leader of the dead.
I haven't heard of that name in forever.
He was the leader. So remember when we went to Crystal Desert, we had to actually we talked to Count Joko because he wanted his own intentions to go against Abaddon, but he gave us the power to actually cross the Crystal Desert by using those worms. We got inside the worms and we did. So yeah, he's a bad guy. He's an ultimate bad guy. He's the one who was fighting against Decio before Decio got corrupted by the Musat and taken away many years ago. So
right, that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard of his name in since 1.
Yeah,
a long time.
So he's been building up his army of undead this entire time. He has to be did you see those monsters there?
I like the anime. I like how they're doing the models now.
The models of those undead are freaking awesome, dude. They look sick.
Yeah, they're better than the ones that
are currently. Yeah, well, because they're all. Yeah, they had to change all that stuff up. Where's he at?
So since they're doing the character models in Crystal Desert this way, are they going to leave Or's models?
Yes. Because Or was all about risen of existing bodies. He is all about the shammering remnants of whatever was taken away. He literally took off whatever he thought he didn't want off of that body, and they were literally undead. They're like Scourge. Think of them as a Scourge of
Scourge.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So they're going to keep the same character models. So that was legit. We already knew the Crystal Desert was going to have the branded, which are the purple, which is Crystal Korak. Balthazar's people, they are awesome. There was one dude that was on a surfboard. He was one of those things were on a surfboard. I was like, are you serious? Holy crap. Where was that at, man? I saw him.
The god of fire and war.
Nobody said anything about that. I'm like, nobody in no tweets or anything. Has anybody seen this guy on a surfboard? Nobody said anything. I'm like, that's crazy.
There's a crisis going.
There's literally an NPC on a board.
One of the first
And nobody said anything.
Civilians believe that he is their rightful ruler.
the hero thing.
Where is that dude? So the skirt. Here we go.
One of the first factions you're going to encounter are the
Wait.
Forged, Balthazar's army.
Living armor.
There's a cannon dude. He looks like a mecha guy from an anime. I swear, he looks like an Escride.
Well, I mean that's probably like a weapon, a mecha weapon or something.
No, these are all. They're called the Forged. That's his alliance. They're all melted
What else I'm
fire
saying?
armor people.
They're iron armor.
Yep.
That he
It only to
forged
serve
and
Balthazar.
made
They're
stuff to
ruthless.
do his bidding and stuff. That's what I'm saying. That trebuchet looking thing is probably one
Yeah.
of those. There it is, right here.
The dude with
Nobody
the freaking
said anything
surfboard.
about this guy.
What the heck, dude? That looks legit. Oh my god.
And they're just dedicated to achieving his goals.
If I pre-order,
Another
so
faction
with
that you're going to be
pre-order,
seeing.
Dude, his haul.
weapon skin,
His haul looks pretty cool too.
title. And then you get your level boost, and then
And you get another character slot. So if you want to get another character, you can get another character maxed out as well. The warrior looks pretty cool too. We'll talk about the warrior here in a minute. I wasn't very hyped about a lot of the heavy armor people. The renegade looks okay. I don't want to play the guardian. The guardian looks ugh.
My question though is, do you eventually get all the mounts?
Yes, you do. So that's why I was listening to it. So it's a mastery system. So as you finish doing your mastery, each mastery tree will give you a different mount.
See, that's what I was wondering, because
Yes.
they didn't or go further into depth on how you obtain these things other than a mastery, because you can say, all right, through the mastery system you get a mount, but
And you can
don't
level
tell
up
me-
doing the different skills and stuff like that. Yeah, they didn't
Right.
say that, but
if you have to pick and choose which one you're doing depending on what you're wanting to do at that particular time.
Yep.
But if you're in a place and all you're needing is the raptor mount, obviously you're going to go up to the point where you get the raptor.
Yep. So you have to. So it's horizontal progression, just like you do your gliding and like that. You have to go one by one. So you start with the raptor. You go to the bunny. Then you go to the manta ray, and then you go to the jackal. So. So.
Okay.
Um.
So I'm interested in, like I said, the necro, like you're saying, and I'm actually interested in seeing you doing the Deadeye thing. You getting a rifle?
The Deadeye looked okay, man. I didn't look too enthused about the Deadeye, like, because the Thief is all about mobility. So if you're giving him a sniper gun, he's gonna be posted up, and he's gonna have to be stationary. So either you're gonna have to get him stationary where he can get out of long range and get out of combat really quickly, or he's just gonna be screwed. So I don't know about.
Well, the thing is if you're trying to do stuff from range,
Yep.
right? At this point in time, everything for you is up close up until this expansion.
Yeah.
So now you have a range way to do things.
Yep.
So I'm thinking they're giving you a a range weapon. So if you don't want to be up front in people's faces or behind their backs and stuff like that, you have a way to be ranged.
True.
So I see what they're trying to do. They're giving you something to give you
True,
some more mobility.
because we don't have much range other than the pistol and the short bow, which the short bow is not much.
And you're still getting wrecked.
Yeah.
So this gives you a little bit more time to actually, slow them down or do something while they're trying to run up to you, and you can still run back. Still like run backwards. You know how like you're kiting them? You can kite them.
Yep. All right, hold that thought. I want to bookmark this real quick so I know when to cut off this recording. I gotta talk to my wife. Be right back. All right, I'm back.
All right.
Okay. So I want to go back to the characters, the NPCs, and everything like that. So Count Dooku, his lair looks pretty awesome. Like it looks, and then yeah, the character models, they did an awesome job. Like they look amazing, dude.
Ruler of the land, Palawajoku.
Holy crap!
So we have 3 new factions that we have to deal with
They
now.
still
Yep.
have some
Balthazar's
remnants of
Forge,
memories. They're
the
sentient,
undead,
but they will
awakened,
do anything
and then
for
the
their
brand.
master.
Yep. The brand. Yep.
Kralkatork and the branded.
Mindless
So,
elemental
yeah, so this is
stripped
gonna
of
be
their original self.
Bigger than any
We have-
we've done before. Go
We're gonna be
wide,
teaming
maps
up with
go
some old
under
and new
and
people.
around in places. There's
You have
elements
to worry
that
about
make each map
freakishly
unique.
large maps now. That's cool.
This
They're bringing
map
back
right-
world events.
Yes.
which is
Oh, no.
interesting how
So-
they're gonna do that this time.
So there's yeah. So they have the world events, but they also specify they're gonna have bounties.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So bounties is so if they're doing anything just anything like the Guild Wars, the guild missions where you get a bounty off of somebody, you gotta go and kill him, you gotta find him and kill him. Then if this is just a single player way of doing a bounty, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say if this is a single player thing, I'm okay with. But if it's something like you have to do like a world event where you're gonna have to have multiple people that have to deal with this, then I'm like, you might as well just call it like a world boss that's a bounty, that has a
Yep.
bounty over its head. But if it's doable for one person to do, and and everybody gets a different one, and that one person is the thing for that week for everybody,
Yep.
I'm okay with this.
Okay.
So if it works out that way to that direction, then I can see that working. I can see that.
I wonder how they implement that. What's up, Q? What's up, Q7? How you doing, man? Yeah, it's gonna be different. So this map right here, I'm looking at. This one stuck out for me for some reason. It's literally a tower or a
You
yeah,
think
like
it's
a
squad thing with a limited time to kill. Oh crap!
that would be pretty cool.
So a squad like a group of like 10 or 15 people.
Yep, I can see that. I can see that.
Okay, so like a raid boss,
Yeah, I can do that.
but an outside world and not in the raid. Actually, you can just do it out there.
As long as it's not like, okay, everybody's going to have the same one, and then that means everyone's going to be going out for the same person, and it's just going to be scaled up.
Right,
It's just
and
going to
then
be
now
just
you
like
have to wait for the spawn
yeah,
rate.
and then it's just like a meta event. I want it to be different from the meta events. Because if it's just like a meta event, there's no point of calling it a bounty. It's just a meta event. You're just hunting down the person to go kill. I really think it's going to be a good idea for a single player bounty. I can see that. I don't see you doing a single player bounty because then you're only going for the one person, and it's kind of a pain. I can see a squad base where it's different for different people, so I can have one bounty, but then Harap has a different bounty, and then Punisher has a different bounty, and it'll be all different. But I can meet up with other people.
Helping you on that one on your bounty.
Yeah, or
not helping us.
But honestly, I don't even think that. I think honestly, if they made it so that, hey, if we have different bounties, then you can't attack my bounty. But that means if I meet up with other players that have the same bounty as me, then I can actually meet other players and actually do the same person.
So that basically pushes your look for group.
Yeah, exactly. Push your look for group, or just going out there and talking on the map, seeing if anyone's seen this person, and you meeting up with different people. Because that makes it more authentic than actually getting with the same person has the same bounty, and it's just a meta event. And then if I have the different bounty, you have a different bounty, but you're able to help me by attacking the same one, then you're able to scale it, and it's just another meta event. You got to kind of separate those two. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that. If they go that route, then I'm okay with it. I guess I would have to do it once or twice. Well, I have to see it first, see how they decide to go with to see if I'm okay with the bounties, or if I'm ever going to do a bounty or anything like that.
Yeah. Now the thing that I don't want, and I'm going to talk about this last, but the only piece that I am not hyped about are the mounts. I don't want mounts in this game. I don't know why.
We'll talk about the bads.
Yeah, we will. Let's talk about let's keep the good hype going.
Yeah. So okay, so we're gonna start from the top to the bottom. All right. So for the elites, we
So
have the
yeah, we can go.
firebrand for the
So
guardian.
yeah, so let's take a look. We can take a look at the firebrand real quick. Firebrand is the guardian, so let's blow him up. And they have their exclusive videos at the bottom, so I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm going off of right now. So they specialize in burning,
Conjuring magic
conjuring tomes to add
They use
8
monsters to
allies.
charge spells
They
for instant
are
use and wield axes to cleave the
So they're
Okay,
mantras.
so-
So they're doing the same thing as the mesmer's doing. They can actually do mantras, channel them to, and then use them later. Store them up.
their foes at
So
short range.
my thing, I see. This is what should happen. This elite should have came out this last time,
Thank you.
in my opinion.
And
Not
then
now. This
yeah.
should have been the elite that you have right now, currently. You know,
which to rebuke
instead of
enemies
dragon
and
hunter.
protect allies.
This would have been good. I would have been okay with this elite specialization last time. Axes, okay.
I can see it getting an
Mantras,
axe.
okay.
I just don't.
Virtues are replaced by conjured tombs of lore. Well, we were kind of doing that with the tomes at the very beginning before we got the elite specialization.
Yeah, because they changed all the
that was-
tomes. They changed all the tomes and went and changed them to something else. Like changed it to signets. Yeah, they changed all the
Yeah,
tomes to
changed
signets.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
charge spells for instant use and wield axes
Um,
to cleave the
So I'm okay with that.
Oh, shouts.
I
That's
see a
right.
lot-
Big
I
ass
see a
shouts,
lot
not
of
signets.
meta-
You're right.
I see a lot of meta going into. You're gonna see a lot of people
their
doing the
foes at short range.
Condi.
Their virtues are
Guardian?
replaced by
There
conjuring
is already a Connie meta
But
about it.
it's gonna be even heavier now since it's specializing in particular
Specializing.
into burning and burning people.
But they're
More
already
so than what
doing
it was
that.
before.
Just makes no sense, game.
Yeah, I wish they would have gave the Guardian something else other than burning as a something.
Connie
But
support.
they're known now for as burning Guardians. So I believe the conjuring part of it is supposed to help that out. With
And I
giving
can get the
something else
conjure.
other than burning.
I can get the conjuring stuff. I can get the mantras because that fits. It fits it. You know, the whole animation and everything like that. But I just don't.
True, Q7, Q7, you're right.
I don't
But
know.
I'm just saying, off the cuff, right now, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of freaking Condi and maybe a little bit of support though.
Well, yeah, because one of them actually. Let me see. One of them actually does like a heal, an AOE heal. That's pretty cool.
There's not much to check. True. I mean, as of right now, yeah. But I'm just saying off the cuff though, Q7. It's gonna be a lot. I think people are gonna go more into the burning side of the Guardian than actually trying
support.
to support.
Well, maybe healing guardian might be a thing next now because they get if you get that you get you get some of the healing spells and actually cleanse with the AOE heal that I see with this mantra and everything like that. They might actually get an actual healing support build finally because that was the one thing
Well,
that
I
they
mean, if
didn't
it
have
goes-
really. They had a tank
I
build.
mean, yeah, they had a tank build, but I mean, if they're trying to give them a ability to support, the support needs to really outweigh that burning part.
Yeah, they
Is
do.
what I'm saying.
They do.
For it not to, for people not to go heavily into Condi even more than what they are now. The healing is going to have to outweigh the burning if they go with this elite specialization.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not really excited. Now the Necro on the other hand, oh my gosh. Necro was awesome.
Necro.
Yep.
So the Scourge. So we're
Yep.
going to talk about the Scourge. So this is a reject
Scourge
of the
have learned to
old,
infuse
the
the
guy
sands
that
with
we
their
fought back in the day.
Count Joku,
And
yeah.
they're trying to counteract what he's currently trying to do. So we want to give up our Death Shroud and give out our Life Force and put it on certain places on the field where we protect our allies, which is going to supposedly give us more battlefield control and movement options that the regular does not really have. Okay, so now they're giving us giving y'all, well, us because I'm a Necro too, giving us a little bit more mobility and control. I think the Necro will be crazy.
I
A lot of
just
AoE support. I don't see a lot of AoE in this. I think it's gonna be like a lot of CCs.
no, I see a lot of
I
AOE,
think
but
when
I'm not.
somebody,
But I'm not seeing a lot of
I think
support
when
with
somebody
it.
goes into the little circle that we do, if it's a circle or those little splashes, those yellow splashes that we're doing in the trailer, they're gonna get controlled somehow, CC'd somehow. I don't think we're gonna do a lot of support. I think that's what it's gonna be based
Yeah,
on.
I don't see any support skills. Like I don't see anything like they said barriers, but I'm not seeing unless this whole dark area right here is like an actual barrier, because I see them animating like life, bringing them up, like some death energy turn into life with the white pillars to actually be like barriers. But unless this dark area is like a barrier, I don't see where the whole barrier is.
Okay, so what they're saying is, it says that we can raise sand shades which shield allies from tormented foes. The punishment skills turn enemy strengths into weaknesses, granting boons and protective barriers to allies.
But they already
Well,
do that.
it depends on how this
Pretty much,
things around are going to work.
so pretty much what they're going to do is they're going to rip off boons, and they're going to turn those boons into conditions and take the boons that they had on them and put them on us. It's essentially doing the same thing that they already had before, but kind of more of the
does anyway?
Epi actually spreads out your connies on someone else.
Oh, okay,
so your corruption
corruption
actually corrupts all boons on your ally. But the Mesmer does that already. The Mesmer automatically does the same thing. They rip off boons, and you get boons to yourself as well. So it's kind of, they're already doing that already. So I want to see more of like a healing aspect of it. That's what I'm saying.
Barrier gives extra HP to the grip. Really? So my question is this an aura, or do we have to walk into this for this to work? That's my question. Once we put these sand shades, is it an aura that goes out to a certain area where we get the extra HP, or do we have to be in the AOE for us to receive this support that you?
I'm trying to see where they said where they give the barriers actually give health. They only said they give you barrier, gives you like a barrier to protect everything. Check last night Giller's 2 channel with Word and Potatoes.
But he could be reading something else. Check.
Yeah.
Last night Yours 2 channel with WP.
I'll take a look at his stuff later.
So he checked last night with Wood and Potatoes. It looks like.
Yeah, because a lot of the partners actually got the game ahead of us and actually got to see and play some of the content before.
He showed some elite spec. Oh, okay. So okay. So you're a little bit ahead of us. Okay.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Okay, that's cool.
They gave you a yellow health increase. Okay, so it's like, okay, so they give you like a special.
Like a shield,
it's literally another shield. Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that.
Barrier. Okay, I got you. Okay, my question though, Q7, is: do we have to be in the circle, or is it an aura?
Like, do you have to walk through the barrier, or does it just give you automatically like a shot, like it just boosts to everybody around you?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm asking. Do we have to be there, or does he or she puts it
it's
out
like
there
a shout.
And we automatically get it?
So
it's
you
like
pretty much so it's just like pretty much just like distort, but it gives you a barrier instead of it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, dude. Necro is going to be up on my list now. That's legit because you got a healing. Because you got blood. You got blood. You have the scourge, or is it the scourge? Yeah, you have the scourge. You got blood, and then you throw in something else. I don't know, curses or shroud or something like that.
No. What you could do with this is, since you're already turning people's strengths into their weaknesses, Epi the mother tracking. Connie heal, Connie
support,
the crap out of your
Connie support,
and I can say that I could go with that.
Connie support,
because if you Epi, you're already turning. You're in Scourge. You already taking their boons away from them, and
you're giving boons to us.
And you're giving boons to us, and you're already changing their boons into conditions.
Okay, so they said. So they said your F1 is actually a ground target. You don't get Death Shroud or anything like that. and F2 to F4 each will has different effects. You only have you only have your life.
Ground target. You only have your life pool. Oh, so you're losing a health pool. Oh shit.
So you don't get anything.
Yeah,
You just have you just have your life. So yeah, you do get rid of it. So, but my question is, so what is the what is the F1? It's a ground target skill, but what is the ground target skill? Is that the one that gives you the barrier? That is the one that gives you the barrier. Never mind. That's the shout. So technically, you're sacrificing your life shield, your life pool, to give out shields to your allies. I can dig that. Oh, no more 2 health pools. So so you don't get the extra, but technically you do, because you shout. You're gonna consume your life pool to actually give you an extra shield.
You get a shield, but it's not a health pool.
It's not.
You can't replenish it, is what they're saying.
No, you can replenish it.
While you're doing a shout, because if you're in shroud, you can continuously replenish the thing that keeps you in shroud. But if you lose this with Scourge, you can't replenish it until you completely diminish it and you're out of it. So while you're shouting, you're not replacing anything. You're using it up.
Yeah, you use it all up. True, you use it all up, but you can't get it. You can't get it back as you're doing it. It's just at a lower rate. It just increases in the same.
But if you're down though, you're down because you're now relying on your health pool.
Yeah, because you don't have that second
shield other than whatever shield that you got.
You have to be very careful. You can't face plant any of the mechanics anymore. You got to be
very. You can't go balls to the wall with this thing.
Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that.
Support base. Yeah, I completely.
A torch though, huh?
Necros are now doing damage to support the group instead of doing damage.
It makes sense
to the enemies to benefit themselves is what they're doing.
It makes sense.
You can still do that with Red Reaper, but with the Scourge, you're now damaging a group, damaging an enemy to help the group. But you're taking certain sacrifices to be able to do that, which makes sense because back in the day, the Reaper is all about self-preservation, everything.
The Necro, the Necro is very selfish. It's very selfish. The only thing you had was the bloodline, but that wasn't even. That was barely anything really. So
yeah, I'm kind of upset that they didn't do anything with my pets. I wish they would have done a little bit more.
Dude, get over the NPCs. It's dead. That dream is dead. Just like the Guardians' spirit weapons. That dream is dead. It's dead. It's dead, dude.
Come on, man.
Get good. Get good and not deal with your NPCs, dude.
Whatever, bro. Whatever. I'm gonna go to the next one, which is your thief.
I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one, man.
Rifle's more range. We talked about it a little bit. You're using a rifle. You're using a sniper at long range.
Who stalks their targets with patience and brutal accuracy.
Targets to harass them with harmful effects. So you're doing conditions
they use a rifle to snipe at long range.
You're doing shadow magic to allow to cast cantrips, which
their mastery of shadow magic lets them cast cantrips,
or as
which
their
gain
bonuses. I don't know how that's gonna work.
They're getting cantrips now. Oh god.
This is when used against marked targets,
so you have a
or
little
as
bit of
their malice increases.
So that's the thing. The torch is support too.
I'm not.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about the.
I'm not a fan.
I don't know. They didn't really touch on the Deadeye than they did on the other ones. They weren't really hyped as a. It didn't sound like it.
Marking targets to harass them with harmful effects.
So I think you got a little.
Their mastery of shadow magic.
I'm just saying. On your main.
I think I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, Deadeye can do a 1500 range. Oh wow.
No, you're not giving them another fucking ranger. You're not doing another ranger. You're basically a ranger, but a thief.
Holy crap, dude. The burst damage on that is ridiculous then.
That in PvP, World v World.
Deadeye in the current state is going to be insane. Yeah, I mean, because you do mark the target, and it increases the damage. Then you can do your pistol, you can do your rifle, and if they're not dead yet, switch over to pistols and just destroy them with a crit chance. Dude, I could see a lot of rifle dual pistol builds going live with this. A ton. a ton with this one. That's going to be
We're
interesting.
talking about it on TeamSpeak. Oh, God dang it.
I'll switch over to TeamSpeak later. I'm not doing it right now.
Okay.
That's not bad
what do I-
though.
Okay. That's more of your wheelhouse. These next two, this one, the next one, we can both speak on the warrior, but the mesmer and
I want to see the mesmer a little bit. The mesmer looks interesting. It's just I don't know about the mesmer. I want to see more
all right,
information
what
about
it's
it.
saying, other than it being already in a close
The
combat
mirage
with its,
taps
with
into
its,
the vast magic of the.
with its
What is it getting?
mirages
I
and
didn't even
stuff
see
like
what weapon is it getting.
that. You're getting an axe.
So that's two characters with just getting an axe.
Yeah, you're getting an axe, so you're gonna be mid range, close.
Crystal Desert.
Be able to fight
Move
close
through
and mid
battle
range.
like shifting sand.
So you get a camouflage, which is in
Another
my opinion,
stealth.
a ranger's ability that should have went to a ranger instead of going to a mesmer. But what do I know? Deceptive combatant at close range, camouflage into the surroundings.
These
and
mesmers
can
use
attack you
whirling
from all
axe
sides.
attacks to fight at
That
mid
whole
and close
first
range.
sentence should be on the ranger.
God.
Their deception skills
Whatever.
baffle
New
enemies
dodge
and
mechanic,
create
which is the
fragile
blur.
constructs.
That
Dude, the
allows
mesmer is
attacks to
gonna
pass
be.
through it.
Oh my god. Mesmers are gonna be so OP because you can't kill them. They're gonna be bunkered down mesmers. I can guarantee you. Distort, and then dodge roll, and then dodge roll. I guarantee you, dude.
Mirage is very different. It's a
Shatter when
loose,
touched,
it
creating
loose-
mirage
it
clocks
loose
to avoid
dodge.
enemy attacks.
I thought it was another
instead
form of dodge.
dodging away
I thought that's what they said. A lot of traits,
from
increased damage, plus range, plus stealth.
to move.
You don't dodge it. You don't dodge well, so you lose a dodge.
Yeah.
So you lose the ability to dodge completely, is what you're saying?
Yeah, instead of dodging, you just
You stay put.
you stay
in
put.
one spot.
You stay in one
Don't
spot. Yeah, you stay in one spot, and the damage and everything like that just goes right through you. It's like you're a ghost.
It's kind of this distort thing. Yeah, that's what T was saying. But so that means you have to push a button for that to happen, and then stand still.
It's just like your dodge. However you're doing your dodge, it's the same thing. Instead of you dodge rolling, you just turn into a ghost for a certain amount of time. That's all it is.
But how does it trigger? Is what I'm saying. I thought
By you
could just push
dodging.
a button.
No, by your dodging. So whatever you're doing, if you're
But you
doing
have to stand still. So how is it? How would?
no.
Somebody...
So take a step back and let me explain to you. So you know how you dodge. You can either move forward or you can stay still and you can just dodge by pushing a button. Okay?
Yes.
It's when you're with the mesmer, instead of actually rolling, you stand still, but you instead of to evade the attack, instead of evading attack by rolling forward, you just have the damage go right through you. See what I'm saying? Like
Dodge key would do it for you.
Yes. So when you're dodging, you know how when you're dodging, you push the button, you push the button in the dodge roll, you dodge forward. Yeah. Well, instead of rolling, you stand still and it just goes straight through you.
So are you double so if you're in this thing and you want to dodge, so if you go forward twice to dodge, like you're going to dodge.
if that's how you do it. I don't have double tap. I actually have a key bound for my dodge. But yes, if you double tap forward.
So if you double tap to dodge roll normally, it will dodge roll you forward. But in this stance, you would double tap it, it will keep you still, and it will go through you. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh.
Exactly.
Move through battle like
so. Like I said, there's gonna be a ton of freaking bunkered down mesmers. I like the split one.
You can't dodge jump. It's rip. Oh damn.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
You really gotta stay on the ground. You gotta stay on the ground.
These mesmers use whirling
you can't
axe
abuse
attacks
that
to
at
fight
all.
at mid and close range. Their
They didn't give
deception
us
skills
anything else other than
baffle
that. You got the
enemies and
camouflage.
create fragile
That's the thing.
constructs.
I guess you
which
just
shatter
stand still
when
and
touched, creating
not stand
mirage
still.
cloaks
You
to
push
avoid
a button,
enemy
you
attacks
get camouflaged into your
instead of
surroundings while you're in
dodging
the
away
desert,
from them.
and then you get to move around, I guess, for a certain amount of time in camo, to be able to attack a different direction. So if you're a clone mesmer, this is gonna suck for people.
So don't forget, T Love, they lose the most the Chronomancer, so it will balance out. That does true because the Chronomancer is all about taking the damage. This one right here will you actually loot you have the damage go right through you. So that is true.
Yeah.
Because the elite you can only have one elite specialization slotted.
Frontline DPS. Okay, so I don't see. Hold on. I don't see any tanks. I really don't.
No more shield.
Fire Guardian is a caster.
True. That sucks. I'm gonna lose my shield. No.
Necromancer is a DPS.
No more continuous split. No. No more face rolling mechanics anymore. Oh, this is gonna suck. Oh, that's gonna be new for me, dude. That's gonna be so new for me.
I mean, a warrior, the Spellbreaker looks like it could be.
We'll take a look at the
Spellbreaker.
Spellbreaker. See what the Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker looks really cool.
So the Spellbreaker, warrior specialized in fighting magic.
The Spellbreaker
users. The warriors
is a highly
are
trained
members of the
warrior
Sun Spear
who
Order,
strikes the very weave
Guardians
of
of
magic.
Lona. They picked up the stopping wizards. They picked up stopping powerful wizards because that is the best way to protect their people. Okay.
To weaken
Wield
their
daggers
foes.
and able to cut magic off from their foes. They have incredibly powerful retaliatory abilities. So this is making me think that this is the tank. A tank have the ability to stop skills and cut enemy boons. You don't challenge your enemies where they're weak. You challenge them where they're strong and make them bow down. Ooh, okay.
It looks interesting.
So this is Dagger. This is an interesting way of tanking in Dagger form. Able to use their adrenaline to perform full counter, absorbing the next attack,
symbolizing the broken weapons
and damaging
of the Order of the
surrounding
Sun
foes.
Spears.
This sounds like a tank to me.
Spellbreakers use meditations to.
They use meditations.
That's a thing.
We'll hold too much hope. Berserker looked good at first. Berserker is still decent. It's not bad. It's not the worst. It's not the worst elite specialization.
Crazy on the Spellbreaker.
See past their enemies' defenses.
Yeah, yeah.
They can use their adrenaline to perform a full counter, absorbing the
It's
next
just gonna
attack
look
again.
weird with a warrior
With daggers.
With 2 daggers.
It's meditation skills. I mean, look. If you're looking at my screen, there's one that he's actually doing meditation that gives him a small little bubble, like a guardian. But it's like shattered glass. It looks pretty cool.
So you're saying meditations on this
Yes,
line too?
he's getting meditations as for his skills, for his utility skills.
Next attack against them and damaging surrounding foes.
He looks interesting. I'm probably gonna start working on my warrior to get some more stuff.
It absorbs the attack. So it absorbs the attack and then it retaliates. Oh, I see what you're saying. So a rebound. Just like the retaliate, like rebound. Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Cool. All right, here you go. You ready? You ready?
All
Here's
right.
your character.
So this is what this right here made me actually pay attention. So I was doing something on my computer, and I was like, okay, it was the warrior, the Spellbreaker. I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
God.
The warrior actually has daggers now, and then they said Elementalist is going to be using their their elements.
Yep.
In different ways. I was like, wait, what?
As soon as I heard they were able to combination, I was like,
that's what I meant to say.
I swear, I was thinking Avatar, the last Avatar. I swear I was watching or thinking Avatar. Thinking the last Airbender.
F1, F2. And now comes from the new. The Ellie though. This is what I'm going to be probably the reason why I'm going to be playing the game is to actually figure out how this works. This right here. This just only one class right here. It's just like my druid in WoW. I've got to figure it out. So you're able to wield multiple attunements at once.
Yeah, because
usually cycle through their magic one after another, but now is combining them. I'm paraphrasing to create elements out of two.
Yep.
2 fire skills,
Yep.
2 water skills, and the 5th skill that's going to be fire and a water skill. We're basically going to be using fire and water. So that basically makes me wonder what happens to air
No,
and what
because
happens to
you got
earth.
because if you look at the screen, Earth and air is right on the front screen. It gives you like a barrier, like a literally like a bubble around you with air and Earth around you. It's pretty
they're
cool.
saying-
Yolonian elementalist who wields dual attunements. They cycle the elements from hand to hand, combining them in their central skill. This skill changes depending on their elemental attunement.
Like you can combine any combination from what it's saying. So you can combine fire and air. You can combine earth and water. You can combine multiple different things together. No, Flap, we haven't gotten to the soul beats. I think that's next. So we'll be hitting that one next here though. So you can do multiple different combinations together, and that makes it almost like the thief, because the thief, it depends on what you have in your main hand, your offhand, that gives you a different kind of skill on your third thing. So literally they took a chapter out of the thief with just the weapons, and since the elementalists can't change weapons, they did it with the attunements. So they did it smart. They did it smart with the elementalists.
So my question is,
and choice of weapon.
using a sword in a main hand, what element is that going to give you?
It doesn't matter. No. It's based off of what combination of elements. So let's say you're fighting something and you want to do a ton of burst damage. Okay, you're gonna combine your fire and your air. It's not based off of your weapons. It's based off of which attunements you push and channel those two in.
But it says the skill changes depending on the elemental attunement. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's say, of course your skills are going to be different based off of what weapon you have. That's going to be obvious.
Yeah.
But it's going to change the kind of effect based off of what attunement that you actually have. So if you want to do some kind of defensive stuff, but actually give you like a defensive air kind of retaliation to like defend yourself, but actually take the damage that's taken to you and retaliate back, you'll channel earth and air together. If you want to do just a bunch of defensive healing kind of stuff, you'll channel water and earth. So it depends on what you're combining for each kind of situation to give you those two different combinations. That makes it creative, and that's where I'm going to say there's going to be a ton of theory crafting around this one.
Donkulous.
Yes,
for elemental.
exactly. It's literally another chapter from a thief.
That's basically opening up the elementalist to make it not more complicated, but more complicated to worry about, because you have no idea what if this is going to suck for PvPers, because you're not going to know, at least you're not going to know what they're doing.
Nope.
Because they can they can come at you with one set and then say, okay, he's countering me on this, and go to the number 2 and then start wrecking shop to counter what they just countered.
New NG, man, new NG. I don't know, man. Well, yeah, I can see that. I could say NG combination of NG and thief, because the thief stuff with the whole combining two different things and making your own kind of secondary weapon is somewhat what the elemental is doing, and then you're doing like elements and combining concoctions together to do that. So I can see that. It instantly combines when you change to another element, and that's pretty cool. So you automatically have to change. So F1 to F3 will combine fire, air, and so on and so on. So yeah, it's really cool. It's combination on demand, and that is awesome. That is awesome. But what really confuses me here is if I'm in fire state right now, I push fire as my main one, and then I decide I want to go and do a ton of burst damage, and I want to go air, but then I want to switch over to do some more defensive stuff, and I want to go into earth. Which one drops? Does the fire drop because the fire was the first one, or does the whatchamacallit drop before? So does it cycle first in, first out? Is that how it cycles through the thing? Because if that's the case, then that's going to be mind blowing. Like, oh my gosh, like how that really makes you have to think about your rotation. Like Harap said.
Yeah, my rotation's gonna suck for me. Depending, it depends. So if like I'm doing healing, it's gonna be a lot of freaking concentrating on.
Oh, so
sure
fire. So okay, so you could double tap an elemental. So if you're there, you can do fire, fire. You have fire main and then fire off. Then you attune to air. Okay. You have air main and then fire off. Then you to earth. You have earth main, air off. So it rotates in and out. Okay. Cool.
Depending
cool.
on what you're attuning to. Oh, okay. So you start a fire, 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 and then you switch to a different one. Then you have fire, and then the next one. And then if you switch to a different one, you have the new one,
Yeah,
and then
sure.
the next one.
Yeah.
You just
Okay.
choose. I
So
got you.
so
Okay.
it's so the rotation is going to be really weird on that one. The new attunement
New
always goes to
attune
the
always
main.
goes into the main hand first. Okay.
So first in, first out. FIFO. That's gonna be really weird for
you
your.
started fire, fire, right?
Yep.
And your main is fire.
Yep.
So from what you're saying, Flaffy, can you ever switch out of the fire out of your main hand?
Yeah, because all you have to
How
do
do
is
you
just.
start off with that?
You could
So
just.
do you have to get out of combat for it
No.
to start over and
No.
say
No.
water is your new main?
So no, if you want to do water as your new main, you just do water, water. You'll have to wait for the cooldown, but you just tap water, and water will be your new main, and then you tap water again, and then the old water would be your offhand, and your new water would be your main hand.
So how do you tell it to go in the water twice if you're already in the water form?
So water. So let's say water is in your main hand, okay, and then you have earth in your offhand, okay. The new water will be your main hand.
Okay, what I'm saying is, okay, you start off at fire.
Yes.
So you just start the game.
Yes.
You open the game.
Yep.
And you're in fire because that's how you start off.
By default, yeah. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, by default. So you're fire.
Okay, but is it fire,
I
fire?
switched to water.
You still have an open slot. You still have an open slot.
Right. So I switched to water.
Okay.
So now my slots are fire, water.
No, water, fire, because water is your main, and then fire is your offhand now.
So how did fire become my offhand? If
Because
fire
it
was my
rotates
first
out.
main?
It rotates out.
The new attune always goes. Oh, okay.
It goes down, so it goes to the second one, and then it goes out. See what I'm saying?
Okay, so if I start in fire, fire.
Yep.
I switch to water.
Yep.
Now it's water, fire.
Yep.
And then
You decide to do
and then
water
if I
again.
go to air.
Or air.
If I want to change, it'll be air, water.
Exactly.
Okay.
It just cycles
now, if
out.
I want to double up, now since I'm in air is my main. I go back in water. I go water. Now I'm water,
Air. Yes, and if you want to double up, then you just do another
and
water.
now I have to wait for the cooldown to come off.
Yep.
And then choose water again, and now I have water, water.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's going to be confusing, but if you're going to do this, you're going to have to do.
That cooldown is going to either make or break you if you're trying to keep yourself in in
Yeah.
the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Yep. So there did have some downside. If you don't change properly, you're screwed. Yeah, I believe it. If you don't know what you're doing in that freaking rotation, you're screwed.
Yep. That's interesting, though.
Yeah.
Their
There's going to be
favorite
a lot
weapon
of
in close combat is the
a
sword.
lot of practicing.
They take on the
how to
aspects of the
get
element.
in and out of your attunements.
Yeah, the rotation is going to be really. That looks interesting. That looks very interesting. All right, so Soul Beast.
As usual, I picked the freaking hardest effing classes to play.
Soul Beast. Let's see what this one's all about. This is what Flaffy's all about.
Soul Beast, which is a ranger.
Yeah.
So a ranger,
The soul
to combine their
beast is
spirits,
a ranger
this
with
is
a
interesting.
unique bond to their animal
They
companion,
become
allowing
their
them
pet.
to
So they take the essence of the pet that they have out,
I don't see it.
and now they become the pet
I don't see
that
it.
they had out. So basically, if I have a bear,
Yeah.
I take the essence of the bear.
Okay.
So basically, if you want to, you can call it the kill command in WoW.
Yeah.
Kill the bear.
Yeah.
And then take their whatever abilities or essence, whatever you want to call it, and now you're the bear. You're a bear.
But what do you do? Like, do you get a special skill? Like, what are you getting out of all this? Like, I get it. You should technically say no more pet, fix the pet issue. I get that, but what are you getting in sacrificing the pet?
Yeah, that's the thing. Now you're using a dagger,
Unify
so I'm gonna
with
continue
its
reading.
spirit.
So you now
They
have a
use
dagger in your
daggers to
main
fight
hand.
at close range
You have a new
and
ranger
stances
pet.
to take on
Again,
the aspects of
when the soul beast merges with its pet, they gain unique abilities as well as abilities of archetype of its archetype. They may not always fight side by side with their pets, but they're never truly alone.
When the
Because you're
soul
merging
beast
with your pet. Okay, I get that.
merges,
But the
You get
thing is
stance
what you're
skills.
getting from
they
your pet.
gain its unique abilities
You
as
get
well as
stances.
the
You get a pet
abilities of its
skill?
archetype. They may not
You get the pet skills,
Not
3
all-
archetypes plus unique.
always
Oh, I
fight
see it.
side
So
by
you
side
remember
with their
in
pets, but they're never truly alone.
Guild Wars 1T, where you were a ranger, you get some of the abilities from
With their
pet,
pet,
depending
they
on
gain-
which one you
Oh
capture.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Like the links and stuff like that. Okay, so you pretty much get another
So
skill.
basically, it's something like that.
Okay. 3 archetype. So your utility skills. Oh my god, no! Please don't tell me your utility skills aren't based off of the pet. That is ridiculous. If you are telling me
Lead,
that,
Smash, knockdown, and slash. So basically, it's just like that. So you remember when we have the ability to have the copy skill
yes,
in one?
yes.
So now you have that in a way with your pets because now you're copying 3 of their skills when you
Oh
absorb
my
them.
god, the skill bar is going to be redonkulous with the things. You're going to have a
That's
ton
literally
of.
what they're doing. That's without without you having to go out and do it. You're just doing it now because you're absorbing the pet.
Now I gotta go freaking catch pets now.
Yeah. So
Holy
now, but the
crap!
thing is that you can't choose the skills that you're getting like we did in one.
No, because you
now they're
are. You technically
predetermined.
you technically are.
Based on
You're,
the pet that you get.
exactly. So you get to pick. You just have to pick which 2 pets you want. You want to have a bear, and you know which 3 skills you're going to get from the bear, and which 3 skills you're getting from the cat. So
yeah.
Holy crap, dude. That's kind of exciting.
So it's a little interesting for a ranger. Okay, Flaffy, I'm not gonna hate on you. I'll let you have this ranger. I'll let you have the
its
ranger.
unique abilities as well
Revenant,
as the abilities of its archetype.
I want to pick the Revenant. I'll talk to the Revenant here in a minute.
Go ahead. That's all you do.
So Revenant. Let's take a look at the Revenant. He gets a longbow. So I gotta actually get to use my longbow.
Use a short bow.
There's a short bow?
He's getting a short bow.
Oh,
The
God.
legendary Char, Kala Scourge Razor.
So I'll
rose
read it
up
and then
to
I'll
end
let
the
you
tyranny
do your
of the
thing.
Flame
Yep.
Legion.
So you ready?
Now,
All right.
Revenants can
So
channel her power
Renegade,
in
which
battle.
is a new elite specialization for the Revenant. You're getting a new legend. The legend is called Kella Scorch Razor, which is a Char.
Yeah, I know her lore.
This new legend bestows players with her rebellious spirit that she used to overthrow the Flame Legion.
Yep.
By herself.
Yep.
Well, not by herself, but
No,
with her.
and I'll tell you the lore after it's all done, but go ahead.
Okay. This manifests as the ability to ambush your opponents,
Okay.
as you can summon members of her Char warband to bolster your allies and fire arrows into portals into the mist that can come out in a different portal behind the enemy, and you use the short bow.
Yep.
So the only thing I find interesting about this, and then I'll let you go, is the ability to shoot arrows
From the portal.
into a portal.
Yep.
And it appearing behind whoever you're fighting.
That's pretty cool.
That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
So
and then you're buffing your allies somehow
renegade
by summoning her warband.
Yep.
That's about it.
So Scorch Razor was okay. So back in the day with the Chars, there was one warband, but they didn't allow females to fight alongside. But when the Flame Legion, not Flame, I think it's the Burning Legion or Flame Legion or something like that. I think it's the Flame Legion. They started going renegade or going ape crazy with power. The Ash Legion, the the Blood Legion, and the Iron Legion said we need to defeat them. She wanted to fight, but they wouldn't allow her. So she went upon herself and did a crippling blow to the Flame Legion, which actually won and did a major damage to them. So for them to actually choose her as a legend, that's freaking awesome. She was very trained. She was trained in the Ash, so she knew how to do covert ops and stuff like that. But she knew a lot of technology. She took the technology and understanding of the Iron Legion, and also the actual the tactical approach or bloodlust and war kind of band from the Blood Legion. So she was adept to all three. But her ability looks pretty cool. The ability for her to summon other clones or other spirits to fight along.
Members of her war band and
that's pretty cool.
With her fervor.
So that's what I'm kind of weird. So you're technically summoning out clones essentially to go out and boost up your allies out on the field. So you're pretty much a mesmer. Literally, you're just a mesmer. And you're doing different things because you're putting a portal out there and you're shooting through the portal. Instead of porting yourself, you're porting your damage or your projectiles into a portal and going straight to the backside of the person. So you can be attacking someone in front of you or way far of you, but you can shoot it through the portal and the portal will automatically go behind them. So that's pretty cool. The clones actually give boosts and boons to your allies and actually fight alongside you. So you're pretty much a mesmer.
Gain the ability to wield a short bow, firing conjured arrows through the mists to blindside their enemies.
So it's cool. It's unique.
Now for Flaffy's thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do the NG.
All right. Hollowsmith, the newest elite for the engineer.
Hollowsmiths are
Bidding
engineers
light to become
who've
your
learned
weapon.
to project the power
Has an
of light
interesting multi-weapon
into a semi-solid
playstyle.
form.
You have
supplement their
attacks
technical
where you
genius.
pull out a holographic hammer to whack an enemy and then switch to holographic guns. In the process, you build up heat within yourself, and then if you stay doing that too long, you have the ability to explode. I don't know if that means. Now the thing about this though, the most important thing of it though, Flaffy, is if you explode, does that mean instant death?
No.
Or not instant death, but are you instantly downed?
No.
That's the thing.
No. Because they actually did that. He actually exploded. And he didn't die. He just does a big AoE damage to everyone around you.
But that could be done to
In their
just show in the
photon
trailer,
forge
but we don't know how that's going to
gain
actually
access
work
to
in real
powerful
life.
new skills.
That's why I'm bringing that question up, because nobody's asked the question.
Damage to them as
If
the
you
temperature
explode,
rises.
are you in a down state or are you
Their
down?
utility skills take advantage of this, gaining greater power.
Why are you talking to us while you're in a raid?
Exceeds a threshold.
Just not instant death. Just take damage. You take damage, and other people take damage. It will get you down if you're low.
Oh, okay.
So my question with that is, while you are heating up or building up heat, are you ticking? Are you taking a tick damage?
No. You're not taking a damage, but you are. There'll probably be a trait line with the more light energy that you store up, the more damage you do.
Well,
There'll probably
I
be a
get
trait
that,
line.
but I mean,
But no, you're not taking
think-
tick damage. You actually just burst.
I think it has to be a give and take there. I think if there's no give and take in that, I think that can be like misused or overpowered. I don't know.
Well, it's
In my
Green
opinion,
Lantern.
I
It's
think
Green
it has to
Lantern.
be-
Project
I think
the
you
power
have
of
to
light
have some kind
into
of
a
risk
semi-solid form.
to do that. You know
They
what I'm saying?
supplement their technical genius
More heat
by
equals more
wielding
damage done.
swords.
There
In their
is
photon
give and take.
forge mode,
Kind of a
You know
warrior.
what? I know exactly what they're doing. They're just like the warrior. You remember how the warrior builds up his rage, and after it's done, you can actually channel and go into berserker mode. But after you're done, after you use all that berserker mode, then you pretty much just lose the power that you have. It's essentially that. The only difference is when you actually run out, you overload yourself and you do damage to yourself and everyone around you. But then you have to build that up by doing damage with your single attacks and stuff like that. So you do regular damage with the swords. Go ahead.
So you're saying while you're already doing stuff to the enemy,
Yes.
you're taking damage.
No, yeah,
you're giving damage.
You're giving damage, and you're building up your light bar, your light field.
And you're building up the light bar,
Yep.
which is also building up, which is your heat, obviously.
No. So the heat goes second. So you build up your light bar, and then you say you're turned into Green Lantern, and you actually are able to pull different weapons and do damage. As you stay into that light field, you build up heat, and after finally, when you build up enough heat, you explode, and then reset your light field. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm taking away from it. The give or take is give damage increase, and take it will blow you up, and if you're not careful. Exactly. So you can only stay in there for so long.
Yeah, but you're not instantly down. So that's where I don't understand where the take is. Because you're giving out damage, that's great and everything. You're giving out damage and then you're taking it from the enemy. But as you're taking it and you're giving out this damage and you're building up your heat, you're not taking any damage from doing this. And when you blow up, you're not.
You can go down if you're too low. If you can go down if you blow up. So that makes sense.
You're not taking extra damage on top of that. I guess it would be too much.
Yeah, because think about it. If you think about the Necro doesn't take damage while it's losing his life bar, but it can go down if he goes over there.
But in a Necro, you damage yourself, or you put a condition on yourself
not
to
if
do boosts.
No, not if you're not doing not if you're not doing corruption skills. That's only if you're using corruption skills. Everything else doesn't necessarily have to do that. So
I would have to.
Yeah, I'll have to play around with it, and because I have it.
See somebody actually do that, because I think there's no give and take in this. I think the only damage you're getting is the one that you're getting from the enemy or the mob, and then when you blow up, and that's it. And I'm like, there's no risk in this.
Your skills do two things. They deal damage to yourself and give you heat.
See, that's what I want to know. So
your attacks hurt yourself. Your attacks hurt yourself.
Okay, so that's what. So there's the take. Okay,
what?
So as you're attacking an enemy, you're also hurting yourself because you're building up heat on yourself. So that's what I was thinking. That's what they're saying. So as you're building up heat, you're damaging yourself. So that's what I thought. Okay.
That's dumb. I'm done with this character. No, I'm done.
Okay. That's what I thought, because there's like no give and take in this thing if that wasn't there.
I'm done. I don't care.
Especially if you explode. I mean, especially if you're exploding to do more damage. Yeah. It has to be.
I'm done.
In the Photon Forge mode, they gain access to powerful new skills. Each skill generate heat, which damage themselves. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, each skill generate heat, which can damage themselves. Their utility takes advantage of this, gaining greater power as their heat level exceeds a threshold.
God.
So at this point in time, if you wanted to, you can actually instantly put yourself in a down state to do the max damage in that mode. But you're taking a risk in doing that.
That's just dumb. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm not happy. Not happy, Panda. So
buddy, you want the hug?
So we're gonna talk about the last piece that I'm not excited about.
Oh, you want to go back? Okay, so let me go back up to the top so I can actually do that.
Mounts. So I'm not gonna watch the video again. We're not gonna go into deep dive in each one of them.
All right, so talking about the mounts, I'm like, okay, T, you're gonna have to deal with the mounts in this one specific area.
No, it's not.
For now.
No. No. When they give you mounts, they already tweeted out as well. When you're able to get the mount, you can actually use the mounts in all maps, including the old maps, including Old Century Tier. So you're gonna be seeing people bounce all over the place.
Zones outside the Path of Fire maps. Oh god dang it!
Thank
all right,
you.
well never mind. I don't care. I
Thank
don't care
you.
anymore.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought it was going to be locked to only one spot. Then I was like, dude, why are you whining? There's only one spot that you're going to have to worry about it. But never mind.
Nope.
That up.
Nope. Exactly.
Oh, Michael's just checking it again. Okay. Well,
now
yeah,
I hate
I
mounts.
completely agree with T at this point in time. I don't like mounts now.
We don't
need
want mounts
We're fine.
any other
We have
character.
the teleporters and we have fucking gliders.
Thank you.
I mean, what's the point of that?
Thank
what's
you.
What's the point of doing these masteries? I could save my mastery points for the stuff for this next expansion.
Thank you. I thought I was the only one who was thinking that.
Skills generate heat as you use them, and the heat causes you to take damage. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's exactly what I thought.
Okay.
You take damage as you.
It makes sense, but I don't like it. But oh well.
All right.
I'll deal with it.
It really should be just the. I agree, Draco. I agree with you and T. I agree with both y'all in saying that if we're stuck with doing mounts, we should only do it in that map set. That's it. As I assume the damage increases as the heat builds up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Flappy. It's not a dot, but I shouldn't have said a dot. But is there a way?
It's like a retail. It's like a retail.
As you were doing it. The game doesn't need mounts. I completely agree. The game doesn't need mounts. You have teleporting with the freaking teleporters, and you have your flight skill with your glider. And all this other stuff. All this stuff that the Heart of Thorns that's just gave you, you basically throwing out the window by these mounts.
I thought I was the only one who was saying that.
Basically, you null and voided the masteries for the speed boosts, for the mushrooms, and the gliders, and upgrade them to be able not to use
So the thing, so besides the fact that the masteries and the gliding and all and the fast travel and the waypoints and all the stuff on there, my biggest thing is that you have to do is the fact that this game was built around how beautiful, how much detail they put into each and every world. If you put mounts in a game, no one's going to care about anything and all that artistic value that you put into your worlds. I don't want mounts to be used in those other worlds, because then people are just going to breeze right through that content and they're not going to even pay attention to it anymore. It just hurts. To me, it doesn't hurt the game, but it hurts all that creativity that you're going to do, because then later down the line, they're not going to care that you have built this awesome temple. They're going to get a mount that's just going to jump right over the temple. You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't want to see.
So basically, you're gonna say, "Oh, look, there's a temple. Now I gotta go use my mount and jump on top of it so I can get this this point."
Yep. They're not gonna try to investigate inside of it. Exactly.
You're not gonna look inside of it. You're not gonna wonder how it was built. You're not gonna try to worry about the lore. You're not gonna look around it or anything like that to see if you can figure its ins and insides and out to do stuff. You're basically going to use your mount, depending on which one you needed at that point in time to do whatever to do, and just jump on your mount and go to do that like point. I guess the looking point, and be done with it and go to the next place.
Yep.
That's basically what you're doing.
Yep.
So basically, that temple shouldn't even be there. It should be just ground or a mountain or something.
I don't know. So Punisher came back and he said the stacking of the heat it will like 10 degrees fine, 20 passive ticks, 30 you go boom. Okay, so you actually do passive ticks, and then finally as you go enough you actually do a big boom and then do that. So I understand you got gliding, but they're building on top of the gliding. Like the new legendary trinkets and all that stuff, it requires you to actually glide to certain parts of the jumping puzzles to the old zones. So you get to explore new pieces with your gliding. It's the only the piece I see them using mounts for is they actually build on top of that. I don't want mounts the other mountains. That's just me though. About mounts, I think they will make it available to tier. No, they already said that. As soon as the game comes out, it's going to be the mounts will be available and be able to be used in all Centrateria, all the Tyria maps.
So as soon as you get your first mount, you can use that first mount everywhere.
Yep. They already announced it on Twitter. You can still glide. I get that.
Punisher, I swear to bejeebus, we get that you're going to glide it, but you're not going to be using the glider anymore. You're going to be using your mounts to be walking around, bro.
Yeah. What's the point of getting the mounts anymore now?
So basically, if I knew I wasn't wasting money, I would have basically waited until this expansion came out and freaking did the expansion points.
And got your mounts. Yep. And then you got your mount.
And I got all my mounts.
The only reason why you will need to go and get Hard Thorns is because gliding is used so you can actually go and do the raiding. That's the only reason why.
That's the only reason. You can't fly anyway. You'll use it on the ground. Then why are the teleporters still on the ground, Punisher? You still got teleports.
Maps on the maps are a lot bigger. I get that, and that's why I'm saying I'm fine with putting the mounts into the new maps, but not in the old maps. I don't want the new ones in the old maps. That's just me though. That's just me personally.
This won't help you on the Google maps.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because because the skimmer only glides. Yeah, it over hovers. So yeah, so they won't be useful in the Maguma maps, but I'm talking about the old Tyria maps.
I mean, the skimmer will work in the water stuff that we have.
That's true.
There. The jackal will help on jumping puzzles over there.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not knocking it. I'm not hyped about it. I'm not.
I think the mounts should, if they're going to do mounts, they should be only land mounts and not worry about integrating them into the maps for where you could help
into Tyria maps, yeah.
In the maps at all. I think they should be just transporting you from point A to point B if you don't want to spend money on teleporting.
But there's a lot less.
If you want to run all the way from Maguma into regular Tyria, that's your choice. That's it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so we'll see. That's the only negative piece I could have to say to take away.
No more free expansion. I guess so. Yeah.
So I have to say they didn't talk about any new fractals, and they didn't talk about the new raids. And from what I understand, is they're going to talk about that later, and then up and coming.
Well, you still have the weekend for them to explain more stuff too.
No, the weekend is you get to actually play it. You get to play it. You can play a preview. Yes. That's what they were saying.
So how does that work? Is this a PTR thing? Do I need to download something?
No, you just have to have the game.
I know they're gonna make us go live. They're not gonna put this on live.
Yes.
They're gonna put this on live and take it away from us.
The final question is always, when can I play? Well, I have some good news. We'll be running a preview experience event.
A preview experience event on August 11th through the August 13th.
Next weekend. It's open to everyone.
Well, that doesn't
everybody.
Mean that we're already.
Everybody gets to go into there. Everybody can get in there. And even if you don't have the game, you can go in and download, get the free version, and pop in and play the preview stuff. It's essentially what they're going to do is just going to give you a map. Because remember how they did the expansion of Heart of Thorns? And you actually got to do the first part of the map. You only got to do the map and that map for that weekend or something like that. That was all you do? Yep. That's exactly what they're going to do with this.
Just create.
So that's that's a huge PTR. That's a good way to actually get people into this game.
That's a good way of doing it. I would do it on the PTR first, but
they already did PTR.
I would test it first.
They already did PTR. PTR was all these other partner people. Wooden Potatoes, everybody else, they had this game for about a week or two.
Oh, they already tested it.
Yes, they already been testing it.
The server's going to get killed. This is the reason why I wanted to move it to something different other than putting it on live, because this is going to suck for us.
I don't know, because they've been around for a while and they haven't had that many. They haven't had any real server issues, well, even when they went live.
Remember, how long has it been since we've done an expansion since the Heart of Thorns?
Well, you got to think about it this way too. They have mega servers. They did a consolidation and mega servers that would have blown up their servers if you think about it.
if they would have left the server amount they had at the very beginning of the game of 2, and they do this now, I wouldn't have an issue. But
They
since they
do.
consolidated these
No,
servers to
no,
these amounts,
they didn't consolidate. They kind of hot swapped them. So you have, let's say you have a small server that only has about 1,000 people, but it's scaled. All the servers are scaled to withstand 10. Okay, 10,000. But the small server only has about 2,000. But then you have you have like 2 big servers that have about 12,000. Well, guess what? 2,000 of those other people on that 10 server are going to bop over into that small server. It's hot swappable. So I think they're good on their server. That's how the whole mega server is in. I'm not worried about it. I think their server, their data and like that they have is going to be good. They had their data around a long time, dude. A long time. They need more people to witness. Has been okay. The expansion stuff has been in the game data files for a long while. Not so worried about that. They did a good job on the server side.
Yeah,
I'm worried with the lag and the log issues on the day. Yeah, I can see the lag issue. I can see a lag issue, but I don't see a server lockdown or explosion. Lag is going to be a deal because that's going to be a lot of processing that they're going to have to do to put out on their servers. That's going to be different. Because everybody is going to be off of those old maps, off of all the old maps. No matter if you have the game or if you have the free version or not, you're going to be dropping that, and they're going to be on the new maps. That's going to be ridiculous. But I don't think they're going to explode their servers. I think their servers are going to be fine.
Okay, if that's correct, and you saying that, then I guess. I guess you're right.
So next weekend.
But when you have 2 days to test the content, the problem it's the problem. I'm not talking about the actual release. I agree. And that's what I was leading up to is because you're going to have all these people, this traffic going to this game for these 2 days. No, 3 days, right? Is 11th through the 13th?
Yeah, it's 11.
Yeah, 11th through the 13th.
Yeah, 3 days.
This is gonna not kill the game, but it's gonna kill the game. Nobody's gonna be able to do anything. It's basically what I'm saying.
We'll see. If that happens, what they tend to do is they'll extend it. What they'll say is, okay, hey, because remember when the game originally launched and they had their only server issue, and it was during the beta. It was during that beta issue, and their servers went belly up. They extended the freaking beta for another week. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're not good for it if something happens where they could do that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's going to suck for people trying to test stuff.
Yeah, or try out the game.
Get stuff done.
Yep.
Try out the game for the new people. This is going to suck for them if you're trying to bring
content creators, people who are coming back to the game, big streamers who want to try it out, because I can see a ton of big streamers who want to play it, and they're going to get in there and they're going to rate it based off of, that first experience. So I hope ANET has their stuff up on that one, because this is new.
Have those servers, on par for this next weekend. If they're wanting to get new people coming in.
I got get worse too with the 3 days. I head start, only managed to get into the third, going into the third. LOL. And same thing happened with with some people. That's true.
I'm agreeing with you on this one, Punisher. It's just for new people, this is gonna suck because of the fact that we got so many people, so much traffic going on these servers, and they're trying to look around. This is where it's gonna either make or break it for that person, for those people. It's either going to be, oh, this is amazing, but I can only move 2 feet every 5 minutes.
Yep.
Or this is going to be amazing if their servers are up to par and they could look around and do all kinds of stuff and see other people, talk to other people. This is going to either enlarge their fan base or shrink it a little bit.
Not shrink, it'll be a dink.
Depending on how these servers take all this stuff.
It'll be a dink, yeah. And a lot of people, and a lot of gamers and a lot of that, they understand that if it's a beta like this, they're gonna say, you know what, no ding to them, but I'm gonna hold off until the game comes out before I go and do some kind of thing.
I'm completely okay with people saying I'm gonna hold off until the game comes out, because I'm one of those guys. So I'm as of right now, I'm going to get the base game and wait for it to come out.
Okay.
That's basically what I'm doing right now. That's it.
30
Because
dude,
me
but
going
so
in there, see, because I'm getting wary of betas because of the fact
yeah.
of WoW.
Oh god.
Because WoW burned it out of me, and I'm not doing it again for another game.
Yeah.
So I'm basically just going to do. I'm gonna buy the game or
So
pre-order game, however I got to do it.
So can we
Wait for it to come out in September?
Can we talk about the fact that this is the first ever expansion that I can say I feel as if I'm literally stealing money from Guild Wars 2? $30 for the core game, and you're getting 5 maps, essentially 9 different characters, maps, or mounts.
You're not buying the core game, though, T.
You're getting
just expansion.
You're getting expansion plus the core game. You're not getting Heart of Thorns. That's the only thing you're not getting. The standard game gives you the core game and gives you the that game. It gives you the whatchamacallit. Because the core game is free, remember? The core game is free. So technically you're getting all the ability to actually do what you can't do in the free game, which is like certain abilities and talking and doing certain things on trading posts. You get that access, but then you also get all of this new content. There's a ton of content that you're getting for $30. This is like the best price. This is exactly what I was saying yesterday. Was if they were to price it.
This is what we were saying yesterday about the pricing on how if they do the pricing right, this is either going to make or break it for the future.
This is perfect.
As of right now, I'm okay with spending $30 on the expansion.
Because not only are you getting the game, but you're getting the game and you're getting a max character boost.
Yes.
So you automatically start off with the rest of the players and get to play with everybody else.
Basically, you're at the same level as everybody else.
Yep.
And I hope they don't do a head start. That's the least they need to do.
They will probably do a head start. They'll probably do a head start.
I hope they don't. I really hope so. I hope they don't because of the fact that if they do a head start, this is gonna.
No, you know what? No, they're not. They're not going to do a head start.
It's gonna be a money grab to me because at that point in time, I would say, if people don't have the money at that point in time to be able to do the head start, so they can get ahead and see if this is what they want to do or not.
Yep.
I think it's a money grab.
I don't think they are going to do a head start because
with the amount of stuff
head starts are usually for the game launch. Head starts are usually for game launches, not for expansions.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, because some people are starting to go the head start thing, even though it's an expansion, to get the extra money boost. Is what I'm saying. I just hope they don't do that. It's what I'm saying.
QT, they haven't talked about dungeons yet. They'll be talking about it later.
They didn't do it for Heart of Thorns, but I'm just hoping they don't fall into the mentality of wanting to go that route.
I don't think they will. Yeah, they haven't talked about raids or dungeons. They're going to talk about them later. I saw a Twitter announcement saying they want to get.
That part I'm okay with, Flaffy. I mean that's what they want to do because of the fact they want to give out spread the word for their stuff. I mean that's the same thing with them giving them the YouTube and streamers head start for the recordings that they did today on top of the announcement. So they could show content that they were actually being able to do. I know Wooden Potatoes was doing it. I don't know if Peachy was able to do it.
I don't know.
But yeah, I that I'm okay with. But the thing is, I'm saying about for everybody. Obviously they're going to talk to their constituents so they can actually get content pushed out there for people to get like a snack to keep them wanting more and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it. So I'm okay with the content creators getting the access. I'm just saying for everybody else. So I'm asking them, do not make this pre-order for people for Head Start. Do not do that. Do the pre-order just like you're doing it now, and just leave it alone. Don't do nothing else.
Yep.
Don't do nothing else. For $30, that's pretty much good for a pre-order.
All right. So final verdict. What do you think if you have to rate this game, this expansion, compared to your best expansion of any other game, including WoW, from a 1 to 10, what you rate it and what you think is the biggest selling point of it?
I'm gonna rate it like. Well, I'm not gonna rate it like that because WoW's Lich King was amazing.
Oh God, yes.
Um, it's almost there, but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm not captivated like I was with Arthas' story.
Oh yeah, true. But I don't see how, because we did Abaddon, and Abaddon was so much
But that's
cool.
so in one though. It's in one.
But you got
come to
Balthazar now.
reality and
Balthazar the same thing. He's doing the same exact thing now. He's literally your fallen knight. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, rate it. I'm not gonna tempt you or sway you anyway. So what do you say? What are you saying?
You're not gonna sway me anyway. I'm just saying nothing's gonna top Arthas' story.
Okay, gotcha.
But it and the way they're doing it, because WoW does their stuff in a particular way to make people hype when they don't want to be hype about the game anymore.
Yeah.
They have that ability with their cutscenes. They're so good in their cutscenes. But anyway, I would give it out of a 10. I'll give it a 7.
A 7?
I'm a little bit intrigued because the thing that pushes it over the edge for me is the Elementalist. That's going to be interesting to work on, and the Necromancer. And then I'm actually I'm not too interested in the story now, but I'm actually somewhat intrigued about the story. When I say now, I mean Heart of Thorns. But when I say now, this time in the Path of Fire, I'm actually intrigued in the story a little.
Count Joko, it kind of spurred you up a little bit, didn't it?
That brought it up a little bit. When he said that, I was like, what?
Yep.
With the old Necromancer, and then now we're fighting against the Necromancer that we supposedly follow back in the day when we're Necromancers. What?
Him and the old god that we were doing. So for me, I think I would rate it an 8.
Express my hype for Soul Beast. What's Soul Beast? What does that even do? Is that a spell?
Yeah, we'll talk about that one here in a minute. So I would give it an 8. I think, like you said, I want to see the last bit, which is either a new fractal and or a new raid. Once they announce that and I get to see a little bit more, it'll probably bumped up to like a 9 or a 10. The biggest selling point for me was the story, the way they're doing the story, the way we're going back to Vabi and all those old places in the Crystal Desert, and it brings back new memories. That just brings back so much awesomeness to me. I think that's the biggest selling point for me. The elite specializations are awesome. They're going to be cool, and the maps are always going to be cool. But I have to say, going back to the Crystal Desert, the best, by far the best expansion in Guild Wars 1, I have to say that's the biggest selling point for me. So
I think Nightfall was mine.
Nightfall was your favorite. Yeah, Nightfall was it. Yeah, Nightfall was where Abaddon was. So no, you didn't. You like factions, didn't you? I thought you liked factions with Shiro.
Oh crap! Yeah, you're right. F.
You like Shiro's thing because he was the Arthas, because it was the Arthas storyline, literally.
It was so close to Arthas. That's what made me want it so much.
Yep.
I wanted it. You're right. It was factions. I forgot about Shishiro. Yeah. If they bring out Sushiro in any of these
Water Dragon, we're going back to Kenta.
If they bring him as a freaking champion, as a Revenant, that'll be the only way I'll play a Revenant.
He is.
No.
Yes.
Which one?
The sword one. It's a sword one. It's devastation. Shiro Tagachi. Yes. Yes, they did.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, they did. Oh my gosh. Yes, he is. Yes, he actually you get 2 swords and you actually do a teleport. Remember that huge teleport where you go like killing spree with the thief? He does the same thing with the Revenant.
Man, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
And his elite, remember he froze the Jade Seed and turned into Jade. Yeah, his elite is he stuns everybody and turns them into Jade crystals.
Yeah, I'm not happy about this, Bob.